So Ace of Coins, aces are always new beginnings. And ace means the world is trying to hand you something new. You can see in the picture, it's just depicting that the universe is trying to hand you this golden coin. So that can be literally money, or it can be a new lifestyle, a new job, something that brings in money. It could be a new asset or a new possession. Coins mean the earth, so it means anything tangible, anything that is a possession, an asset, or it can be more abstract, something of value. So it's something new of value coming in. And so August, especially around the first week of August, if you stay open to receiving something, it's sort of like an opening to this gateway, this garden, this portal of this life that has new riches, new comforts, it's like a garden that is being opened for you, Cancer. So if there's something that you've been wanting to bring into your experience in terms of job, money, finance, asset, possession, beginning of August is a great time for that, for you. Be careful of anyone who may be trying to do something deceptively or cut corners. This is Seven of Swords. And this card is all about like me behavior. Like I'm going to cover my bases regardless of what it takes. I don't care if I break laws doing it. I don't care if anyone, if I don't care of my consequences of my actions. This is risky behavior. And I sometimes call this card putting your head in the tiger's mouth. It's kind of got like gambler energy to it. Like I'm going to gamble. I'm going to see if I can get away with this. So in the reverse position, it may mean that there's something under the surface that you're not seeing, especially regarding like another water sign, or this could be you, Cancer. I mean, it's Cancer, Pisces, or Scorpio. This person is normally a compassionate person, someone who's a master of their emotions or comes from a emotional place. But because they're coupled with this Seven of Swords energy in reverse, it's almost like I'm seeing kind of like making a deal with the devil, or making a deal with a shady character, or even embodying that kind of energy of like, it's me, I'm going to get away with what I can. It's possible that the king, the person who's in an authority position, is acting like that. So be aware of that. And if you notice yourself exhibiting any of those tendencies, Cancer, because this usually is a water sign, just be aware of it. Just try to, because it's in shadow and because it's under the surface, there may be a lack of awareness. You may not be able to see it outright. Someone else may point that out to you, or you may see it in someone else who's another water sign, or someone who is normally a great father or a great partner, or usually is a master of their emotions. Right now is not a good time to invest with them or to trust them, or make sure that you kind of look them in the eye and see what's going on, because there's some shadiness going on with the Seven of Swords energy, especially regarding the water person who may have be in an authority position. So that's going on at the beginning of the month. And then I also see there may be a young fire sign person who is full of optimism, full of willingness. Page of Rods is usually fire signs, so it's Sagittarius, Aries, or Leo. Or it could be anyone who embodies the archetypes of that. It could also just be you, Cancer, being young and feeling like energized, optimistic, willing. That's Page of Wands energy. He's like, I'm ready to start. When can I begin this project? When can I go on this adventure? When can I, he's like, sign me up, is essentially Page of Wands energy. It's full of optimism. It's full of willingness. It's full of like, I want to learn. It's kind of got the archetype of the journeyman and the apprentice, with the Page of Rods being the apprentice. Like he's ready, he's full of life, vitality, energy, optimism, willingness. So that could be you, or that could be someone else who's showing up at the beginning of August. With this ace energy, I'm kind of seeing that it may be partially to you. Because if you do receive this new money, it could be very invigorating for you. You could feel like, oh my gosh, I feel young again. I feel renewed. I feel vital. I feel energetic. I feel ready to take on the world. That's sort of the young form of Page of Wands. The next the next level, then there's Ace of Wands and Two of Wands, and Two of Wands is sort of the more mature version of him, but he's got that willingness anyway. Then in the middle of the month, there is, I'm going to start with these two and then talk about these. Ten of Wands is a card. You've got Ten of Wands and Six of Coins, both in reverse. So this kind of feels like a little heaviness, especially regarding money, resources, information, or power. Like who's the distribution of wealth is what I'll say with Six of Coins. And you might be feeling weary or tired. That's what Ten of Wands means. It means oppression and just feeling like I'm sick of how the wealth is distributed here. So Ten of Wands means feeling weary, tired. You can see in the figure he's carrying a lot and his back is almost breaking. I mean, this is 10 wands on a card. That's the most amount of wands that it can appear on a card. And when I see this card show up, I always ask, what can you put down that's not necessary? How can you lighten your burden? And 10 of Wands is also the teacher card. So it means having collected a lot of experience. And sometimes by teaching or sharing with others, that can lighten our load. But this really means like being at the end of your road, at the end of your rope, feeling like I just can't do this anymore. I've just been carrying this for too long. And it's sort of like I've got too much baggage around this. With the Six of Coins right next to it, it's saying Six of Coins is usually a card about the haves and the have-nots. So I always ask with this card, do you identify with the person who's handing out the money or who's receiving it or who's not getting anything at all? So Six of Coins is really a card about distribution of wealth. Could be about budgeting. Could be like that you're in a situation where you're like, I keep toiling, I keep working my butt off, and sweating. My brow is just like I keep wiping it because I'm working so hard, and yet the distribution of wealth just doesn't seem right here. So, or I'm just not getting paid what I'm worth, or whatever it is that you're acknowledging with the Six of Coins. Wealth, knowledge, power, access to resources, that's all in this card. There's something where you're like, in the middle of the month, I've just had it. I just can't do this anymore. So it's actually a good time to be, rallying around your friends. It's actually, you've got some supportive friends around you, your community. That's Three of Cups. So this is a card of support, of celebration, of festivities. It might just be a time to focus on your friendships and your family and those who are like-minded, who are supportive and loving of you, because they may be able to help with this situation. Likewise, there's an elder person, this emperor person, who's really his main focus is rules and regulation and order and his empire. So this could be a boss. This could be a grandfather or a father or an uncle, landlord. It's got all that energy to it. If you know someone who's sort of elderly, kind of follows tradition, he enforces rules. He's like, this is the way it goes. This is what I say. He can be very stubborn, but he's usually the head of the military. So this could also represent, the police force or someone who is in charge or believes they have authority. It's their empire. You're on their turf. It's possible that he could be supportive and have words of wisdom, but he's looking away from your struggle. So he's not really concerned. So it's possible that he could either be a mentor or it's possible that he could be part of the problem, that you've been working for this boss who just doesn't want to hear it. He's not concerned about the distribution of wealth or how hard you're working. I mean, he's kind of like, this is what I say and this is how it goes. Take it or leave it is what I get from Emperor in this position. But your friends are rallying and supporting you. In some ways, this is where hardlining is, and this is where more soft, comfortable, supportive love is. So they're kind of like opposite ends of the spectrum. You can either sort of plead your case to him, or you can just talk it over with your friends, receive some support with them, spend some good times with them. That might be the most helpful to you, Cancer, towards the middle of the month with dealing with this struggle financially, or feeling like the wealth is not being handed out evenly. Here too, it's kind of interesting. Repetitive themes. What's cool is I see some good stuff here, which I'll tell you about in a minute. But this card is struggle, and this card is holding on to all of your money. So similar, you know, wands next to coins, wands next to coins. Five of Wands, usually I call this card playing versus fighting. So openly, this could be like competition for the money that is available. Five of Wands can be sport, you know, it could be playfulness, or it could be competition, or it could be warfare. It's got a lot of Mars energy either way, so it could be open warfare, people fighting over things. You know, like if a company dissolves and people are trying to hold on to the money and people are fighting over things, that could be this kind of energy. Or it could be that you're fighting with your partner or family over like who's trying to hold on to the money. Four of Coins, four is a very stable card, but Four of Coins is kind of like Midas, where he holds on to everything. He prioritizes money so much and loves it so much that he holds on to everything he has, and therefore it immobilizes him. It actually blocks his heart. He may, by holding on to every last cent that he has, you can see there's no path to his heart, and it's even the only thing that's on his mind. And this is all like, you know, maybe being defensive about money, maybe feeling like I've got to ward off everybody else. But if you can adopt this, the opportunity in this card is if you can adopt a playful attitude towards things, you might be able to loosen him up. You can't actually receive anything when you have a closed fist like this guy. It's the open hand like this card, you can see where more money actually comes in. So by struggling with it, that's Five of Wands energy, and fighting and being in competition and like petty annoyances, and it's just like friction and tension, especially regarding trying to hold on to every last cent. You might try to open him up because he's stuck. No more money comes in here. This guy is like, he's kind of like the person who never gives anything because he's too afraid that he's not going to have enough. It's sort of like Depression era mentality. But if you want to open up to more, which it looks like this month you could receive, this is what you need to focus on, is being open to receiving more, having an open hand, not a closed, fearful fist here. Hopefully that makes sense. If you have any questions, feel free to put them down in the comments. But this is really like grinding gears, struggle. It's kind of echoing this. But at the end of the month is when you have some real opportunity, Cancer, if you can believe in your own capabilities to create. That's what Magician is about. Seven of Coins is waiting for your harvest to ripen. This is a card of patience. And this is actually sometimes called the Millionaire's card. So when Seven of Coins shows up, it's a guy who's actually just, you can see he's got his hoe for the garden. He's just sort of waiting with it there. In the Rider-Waite, he's leaning on his staff. And it means assessment, evaluation. It's sort of like saying, is the efforts that I'm putting out creating the results that I want? Is this really the garden that I want to reap the harvest from? It's also like saying, here's all this money coming, but you can't harvest it too soon. Like if you pick grapes before they're ripe, they're sour instead of sweet. So it's kind of saying like, you may need to wait. You may need to have some patience. It's a good time to assess things. It's a good time to evaluate things. It's sort of like a crossroads card where you get to think things over and really take a step back and take a look around and say, is this what I want to be harvesting? Is this what I want to be putting my efforts towards? Is this the kind of harvest that I want to reap? And coupled with Magician here, the similarity between these two cards is that they're both creatives. They both create something that they can look at in front of them that is greater than what existed before. This guy harnesses the force of the earth to create more crops, to create more money. Magician can create whatever he wants, and he actually harnesses any of the elements, or all four of the elements. The sword, which represents the mental, element, cup, which represents the emotional world, the coin, which represents money, values, possessions, and assets. That's the earth element. And then the wand represents courage, fire, vitality, energy, optimism, feeling invigorated, all of that. So he has this sort of alchemical ability to fuse those together and create whatever he wants. These are sort of like his building blocks or his tools. And he accesses this etheric divine world and says, this is what I want. This is what I create. This, I can have it. In the reverse position, it's still you, Cancer. He's still showing up for you. But you might be saying, oh, I don't believe I can create what I want. I don't believe I'm powerful. I don't think I can do it. It's sort of like being given a magic wand and saying, I don't know. It's not me. I can't. I don't believe in this. But he creates things through the power of his mind, the power of his will and his focus. So like when you concentrate on one thing with all of your attention and all of your focus, it's sort of like having a laser beam. It becomes very powerful because it's so focused, and that's what magician does. He says, I want this one thing. I'm just going to push any distractions out of my mind. I'm going to focus on it completely, and therefore I'm going to bring it into being. So I'm going to suggest to you that if you have any doubts about your capabilities, if you have any fears about it, if you have any if you're holding magician in resistance in any way, like, I don't know, I can't create what I want, I can't do this. In the upright position, magician says, I am and I can. In the reverse position, he says, I'm not and I can't. So, like, I'm going to invite you to try to turn that around. Instead of saying, I can't and I'm not willing and I'm not able. See if you can allow the power of the magician card to see if you can align with his archetype, with his character, because he is the one who creates what he wants, especially regarding this big pile of money, this harvest of money that's sort of sitting there waiting for you, Cancer, if you can envision yourself in this position. So that's kind of my reading for you for August, Cancer. What it seems to me is a theme for you is that there's potential for new money coming in, but you kind of have to go through these two sections of just really feeling like I'm just done, I'm over it, this isn't how I want things to go anymore, and opening up to the idea of new money coming in, opening up to the idea of working with the idea of that you can create what you want. You may have to be patient. You may have to sow the seeds now that you receive later in a harvest in the next season. But if you can trust your own abilities and open to what the world wants to give to you, there may be a way that you can receive it. And your friends may provide a supportive role in this. This column here, optimism, willingness, friends, and then the harvest. That's a nice place to stay. So I think August could be a nice money month for you, Cancer, if you focus on receiving things and your abilities to create it.